Good afternoon. Hello, my name is Rob Lorenz, and I'm a developer on the VS Code team. For most of the past year, I've been working on VS Code Remote and the Remote SSH extension, and that's part of what I'm going to be talking about today. But while I was preparing for this talk, I actually realized that the title is not 100% precise. Create Linux apps for Windows kind of sounds like I'm going to be talking about building native code for Linux, or .NET Core, or something like that. I'm not going to be talking about those things. So I want to tweak the title just a little bit, because I want to emphasize that we're talking about developing apps in a real Linux environment for Windows, on Windows. And we have 3 ways to do this with Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to start with talking about WSL. How many of you have used WSL or know what WSL is? OK, cool. Awesome. So WSL stands for the Windows Subsystem for Linux. Basically, it's just an easy way to set up a full Linux system on Windows. You can install it through the Microsoft Store. You can install whatever distro you like. You can even install multiple distros side by side. When you start WSL, basically, that just puts you into a normal Linux shell, and you can run whatever Linux programs you like. I think it's easier to just show you what it looks like, so let me pull it up. So I'm going to start the new Windows terminal. And the new Windows terminal is great because I can just go to create a new tab, and I will see whatever WSL distros I've installed. So I've chosen Ubuntu 18.04, and I'm going to pick that. And just like that, I'm in a bash shell on Linux. Maybe I should zoom in. We can see that it is a Linux shell, and I have everything that I expect. LS. Imagine that. I can use grep. I have Vim. And so if you come from more of a Mac background or a Linux background, then this is, you should immediately be at home here. So I'm going to open up this simple Node app that I have. And you don't need to understand Node to follow along with what's going on here. It's really simple. This just uses a Node library called Express, which starts a really simple web server that serves a really simple web app. So I can start my server just like this. Because I have Node installed on WSL, in the WSL part of my system, I actually don't even have Node installed in Windows at all. Like if I go back to Windows PowerShell and type Node, then you'll see there's no node.exe on the system. I just have Linux Node. But I'm going to start my server. And it's listening on port 3000, and I can open Edge. I can go to localhost 3000, and I can see that it hit my server, and here's the really simple web page that I'm serving. So that looked really simple, but let's think about what just happened for a second. So I started a web server in Linux, and then I opened the browser, Edge, which is a Windows program, of course, and I was able to see what that Linux server is serving up. So just like that, I'm already working across 2 OSs, right? I'm working between some code I have running in Linux and then this program I have in Windows. So I can stop this, and I can use Vim I could work in this project. I could edit this file however I want and do my development in Vim. So if you're a Vim person or an Emacs person, if you like the terminal, then you would already have a full-fledged, full-featured Linux development environment right here on Windows. If you're at this talk, I assume that you have at least some interest in VS Code, right? So you want to use a graphical editor. Maybe you like your VS Code extensions. You like your JavaScript IntelliSense, which you get in VS Code. Maybe you want to use the Node debugger, the JavaScript debugger that's built into VS Code. So how can you use VS Code with this workspace that you have in WSL? So that is possible. We can do that, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little more about sort of what that really means and what we had to do with VS Code to make that possible. OK, so on the left side, I have a Visual Studio Code instance running in Windows. And it has some terminals, Windows terminals, and it has some debuggers, and it has some extensions that are providing language features and source control integration and all that. And all of these things in the orange box are running all together on the same system on the Windows side of my system, right? But I want to be working with my project, which I have in WSL, in the WSL file system. And I want to be working with node Linux, which is actually running my server in WSL. And so in order to do that, I would need all of these things in the orange box, not running inside Visual Studio Code in Windows, but I need them running in the WSL context. So how can I do that? How can I close that gap? So we actually created something called the Visual Studio Code server. And this does exactly that. It runs as a Linux program in the WSL context, in the WSL part of my system. And it hosts my terminals and my debuggers and all my other extensions that provide language support and source control integration. And then Visual Studio Code, the app running in Windows, is able to act basically just as a front end. And it's able to attach to the Visual Studio Code server. And when it attaches to the server, then it doesn't use its own built-in terminals and debuggers and everything else. It uses the ones that are the functionality that's provided by the server. Right? But we still have another problem here, because Visual Studio Code itself doesn't really know anything about WSL. Right? It doesn't know how to find WSL on your system. It doesn't know how to install the VS Code server or set it up. So that piece of the puzzle is provided by an extension, which we built and call the Remote WSL extension. So when you use the Remote WSL extension, then the extension is able to discover WSL on your system, and it will download the VS Code server and install it in WSL. And then it will tell VS Code, the app running as a front end, how to connect to the server. The cool thing about the VS Code server is that it's not WSL specific, right? It can actually run in any environment as long as you have the right extension to set it up. So besides WSL, we also have the ability to run in a Docker container. And you can do this using the Remote Containers extension. And in this case, the extension will spin up a Docker container and download and install the VS Code server inside that container. And then it will, again, tell the front end how to connect to the server running in the context of the container. Then we also have the Remote SSH extension. And this one is interesting because it can attach to essentially anything, any machine that you can SSH to. It will open an SSH connection to that machine, download and install the VS Code server on that machine, and then forward a port over your SSH connection, and tell the front end that it can connect to the server over that port. So that was a lot of information. Let's see what this actually looks like in practice, though. And I'm going to go back to my WSL terminal. So back in WSL, I've already installed the Remote WSL extension at this point in VS Code. And I can actually launch VS Code in exactly the same way that I usually do from the terminal. So I can just type code dot, hit enter. And this is going to open a new instance of VS Code in the WSL context. And there was a progress bar. It went by so quickly you probably didn't even see it, but that was the WSL extension setting up the VS Code server in the WSL part of my machine. And now I can tell that this is in the WSL context because you might not even be able to see it down there, but there is a label in the status bar that says WSL Ubuntu 18.04. And also, if I open the terminal, I can see that, again, I have the same Linux terminal that I had in the Windows terminal over here, the same bash terminal in WSL. So this looks really just like a normal VS Code window, right? But I really want to hammer in on what the difference is. This is VS Code running as a Windows program, but all of the content in this window is actually being provided by the VS Code server running in the WSL part of my system, right? So if I can browse the WSL file system here, and if I open a file and then hover over it here to see the same path, and the tooltip is not zoomed in, so you might not be able to see that. But this is a path that says /home/roblou. So this is not a Windows file system like C:\/ path, right? This is actually a file, a Linux file that is in the WSL part of my system. And I can open these JavaScript files, and I have the same JavaScript IntelliSense that I expect to have, and this is because the JavaScript extension is running, again, in WSL. So I can type in here, and I'll get IntelliSense and all the other language features I want. And I have set up a launch configuration for this project, so I can go to the debug view-let, and I can click Start Debugging. And again, it's going to launch my server, listening on the same port in WSL, just like how I launched it in the terminal a minute ago. And I can go back to the browser. And again, I can hit this site. And now maybe I want to actually debug my server, so I'm going to open up this other route that I've defined, the route called hello. And I'm going to set a breakpoint here. And I have this page set up so that when I click this button, it's going to make a request to that second route on my server. So when I click this button, then I can go back to VS Code and I see that I hit my breakpoint. And I can debug this in WSL the same way I normally would. So I can hover over variables, and I can step. And when I continue, it's going to send this response back to the page. And the page will alert it just to show that, yeah, we actually did make a full round trip. So that is developing in a WSL workspace. And I can show you the extension that I had to install to make that happen. Remote WSL right here. I want to tell you about the remote containers extension also. And to do this, I want to tell you another story. So I have a friend who's learning Rust. And they sent me a Rust project that they'd been working on and told me to try it out. But the thing is, I don't know anything about the Rust language. I have no idea how to install Rust on Windows or set it up. And honestly, I was a little hesitant to try this out because I don't want to install a whole bunch of stuff on my system, and then maybe I won't be able to figure out how to uninstall all of it. Maybe it'll interfere with some other project that I've already set up. But my friend told me to open the project and see what happens. So I'm opening this project they sent me. And when I did that, something really interesting happened. I saw this notification, which is coming from the remote containers extension. And it's telling me that I can reopen this folder in a container. And it turns out that my friend was very nice. And when they were setting up this project, they set up a Docker file. And this Docker file has everything that I need to have a full Rust development experience inside a container. So I can click Reopen in Container. And what's going to happen is the remote containers extension is going to actually spin up a Docker container based on that Rust environment, that Docker file that my friend set up. And it's going to start the VS Code server inside the Docker container. And then again, connect to VS Code, the Windows program just running as a front end. It's going to connect it to that VS Code server running inside the Docker container. So now I can have a development environment inside my Docker container. And again, if I go to the terminal, I have a Linux terminal here. This is not WSL, though. It is inside the Linux Docker container. Also, if I go to the status bar, which you might be able to see, you can see that it is in a dev container environment. And also, I can just open a Rust file. And without having done any other setup on Windows or anything else, I can open a Rust file and just start typing. And right away, I get Rust IntelliSense because I have the Rust language server running, and I didn't have to know how to set up Rust on Windows. I can even set a breakpoint here and run this launch configuration that's set up. And just like that, I can immediately build and run and debug my Rust project without knowing anything about how to set up Rust in Windows. There we go. So why is it useful to be able to develop inside a container? Well, like I just showed you, my friend was able to create a Docker container, which gives me a reproducible, predictable development environment, right? And my friend might have even been on a different host OS, right? They might have set up this project on a Mac, and I'm using Windows. But it doesn't matter because we're working inside totally equivalent container environments. This could also be really useful if I want to test my app with several versions of an OS, right? I can spin up containers that are configured differently and then test them and develop them in multiple containers at the same time. Or if I need to test with different versions of some global dependency, like different libcs, I can set up containers that are configured however I need to. It can also be useful if you want to set up your project in an isolated sandboxed environment where you know it won't affect anything else on your machine. Right? You can have projects in 2 different containers, and you know that you can install and do whatever you want on one container without affecting the other container, or without affecting the dev machine as a whole. We also have the remote SSH extension. And this is really interesting. I don't have time to actually demo it to you today, but I want to tell you why it's interesting. So the one case when the remote SSH extension might be useful is if you want to do some development on some machine with really specialized hardware. right? And this might be anything from a tiny Raspberry Pi to some kind of like extremely powerful 256 core machine in the cloud that you use to train AI models, right? You can connect to anything that you can SSH to, and you might not want to actually sit in front of that and use it as your dev machine, but you can have a workspace there, sit at your desk and work on that machine. You can have environments that you can connect to from anywhere, right? You can set up a VM in the cloud in Azure, and then you can work from it at your desk at work, and then go home and log into exactly the same environment. In fact, this is basically how I've been doing most of my work in real life for the past 6 months or so, and it works great. You can even set up a system that creates cloud environments that have been like automatically set up and configured with whatever tools your team needs. In fact, I know there are already some companies who are creating some internal tools to do this, to sort of automatically spin up environments that are pre-configured, created on demand, and then recycled when their workers are done with them. So we talked about a lot today. We talked about how you can develop in a real Linux environment on Windows itself with remote WSL. We talked about how you can develop inside a Docker container with the remote containers extension. And we talked about how you can develop on pretty much any other sort of machine with remote SSH. Everything that I showed you today is already in the marketplace. It's out there. It's in public preview. You can go home and try it right now. We have this remote development extension pack, which contains all 3 of those other extensions, just to make them easy to find and easy to install all of them. If you want to learn more, you can go to aka.ms/vscode-remote. Also, my booth, the VS Code booth, is just straight back behind you, and you can come back there, and I'd be happy to demo the remote SSH extension to you or answer any questions you have. And I think we have a few minutes if anyone has any questions. Yeah. Yeah, is there any latency between the remotes, especially on WSL? That's a really good question. So all of your extensions, like IntelliCode, for example, are running in the remote extension host. So they're running in the WSL context or on the other machine. WSL in particular, since it's located on the same machine that you're working on, there's really not going to be any latency because even though you are going between that OS boundary, like it works very quickly and very smoothly. In other cases, like if you're working on a VM in Azure, like I do all the time, if you're on a fast internet connection, I mean even not an extremely fast internet connection, it feels really just like you are working in a normal window, right? There's very little latency. Everything is extremely smooth. If you're on a really slow connection or you have a machine far away or something, you might, maybe there'll be a slight delay before the suggestions widget pops up. But in general, it works really, really smoothly. Any other questions? Yeah? Pym Key Authentication? Yeah, we support any sort of authentication as long as you can go to the terminal and type SSH your machine and connect to that machine. Like all the authentication is handled by SSH itself, right? Literally all we're doing is running SSH commands in a terminal. So if you can set that up to work, then it's possible to make it work with the extension. OK, I'm probably one more question. Anyone? Yeah. Yes. So besides the Docker file itself, there is another file that you can configure which builds on top of the Docker file and adds some extra metadata, like which extensions need to be installed inside there or which ports need to be forwarded. And I skimmed over that. It's spelled out in our documentation, or if you head back to the booth, we can talk about that some more too. OK, I think I'm out of time now. But thank you, everybody.